it's Claire Daly here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Melbourne, Australia. Today I'd like to show you how to make the flare type buttons, which are really popular in Project Life. Now, I've been using Project Life on and off for about 3 years now, and I've been a scrapbooker for over 12 years, and I was really excited when Stampin' Up! Have recently collaborated with Becky Higgins to be the only direct sales company that's being promoting and producing Project Life kits. So that's really exciting for us, and it's opened up a whole new world for my customers. So you can find out all about that by heading over to my blog at clairedaly.typepad.com, and you can see there that I run some Project Life Stampin' Up! Clubs where you can actually earn free products and you get free projects from me each month. I also have tutorials and I share Project Life pages on my blog, and I've also got a customer-only Project Life by Stampin' Up! Facebook group where those customers who purchase their Project Life by Stampin' Up! Supplies from me are able to come into this group, and that's where I will be posting additional pages and tips and a whole variety of things. So it's a great opportunity if you're into Project Life to see the additional value that Stampin' Up! Can add to what you're doing. I plan to show you how to make the buttons today through using our digital program called MDS. So the first part of that tutorial will be here in MDS, and then I'll show you at the end where to go to the remainder of the tutorial over on my blog so you can see how I actually make them into the buttons. So the toppings for the flare buttons you can get in a variety of sizes, but the most popular sizes are the 1 and 1 1/4 inch circles. So what you can do to start with then is we go to the punches section in my digital studio, and I've got here the 1 1/4 inch circle punch, which is what I'll be using today. So it's just a matter of dragging some of those over onto your project. Now I actually started today with an A4 size custom page, if you're wondering what I started with, and I'll show you in a little while how I actually produced a whole page of these recently. But I just want to show you a few examples of how you can make the buttons. Now, one of the great things about Project Life by Stampin' Up! is the colour coordination. In the kits that we're producing, we can tell you exactly what colours, Stampin' Up! Colours, are used in them, so that comes really handy when you're doing things like this. So I'm making the first few buttons to coordinate with the Everyday Adventure kit, and I know that the colours in that kit, from the information that Stampin' Up! Gives to its customers, I know that that's Bermuda Bay, Crushed Curry, Strawberry Slush, Pear Pizzazz and Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going to make my buttons to coordinate with that. So for this first button here, I'm just going to make a word button. So we'll start by filling our punch shape. Now you can actually fill it by colour. You could match the colour to a photo, fill it with pattern paper, or you can actually fill it with a photo. So to start with, I'm going to fill this shape with Bermuda Bay, one of the coordinating colours. It's just a matter of selecting the colour and pressing OK, and then I'm going to put a word over the top of that, as that's really popular in Project Life, and it can just add a little bit extra embellishing to your pages. So one of the great stamp sets that I found, we'll select the stamp sets. One of the great stamp sets I found is actually called Moments Ago. It's got some really great words in it, which are in a really casual script font, which I like. So we'll open that. As you can see, there's a whole lot of words here. Awesome, beautiful, family. Any of those would be great. I'm going to use this one here for the record. So it's just a matter of popping that over the top. As you can see, it's a little bit big, so we will just make that smaller. Actually, what I might do is increase the size of my page, and to do that you can go down the bottom right hand corner. We can actually increase the zoom. So we'll just put that over the centre of the button. I'm happy with that, and then I want to change the colour of that font to white. So we'll come up here to the change colour, click white and OK, and there we go, we have our first button. So for this second button here, I think I might use a symbol. Now, I found some great travel symbols in one of our stamp sets. So let's go to that one. It's in one of the designer kits and it's called Travelog. So the great thing about MDS is you can actually have a 30-day trial, and if you go over to my blog, you can actually download a 30-day free trial to have a play with MDS, which would be fantastic. So to give you an opportunity to have a play around. So I'm going to use this Travelog, this plain button. So for this one, I think I will have the button, the plain part showing as crushed curry. Just this one here, because I know that's one of the coordinating colours, and I might put the Bermuda Bay over the top. So it's just a matter of dragging the plain shape onto the base that we're making for the button. Again, we need to resize that. Doesn't matter if it's a little tiny bit big, because we'll be cutting all of these out with the actual punch. But we don't want to make it too big, otherwise we might miss out parts of the plain. So that seems to cover all of the edges. So I'm going to actually make this outside bit Bermuda Bay. So because that symbol is still selected, we can just select change colour, go to Bermuda Bay, press OK, and there we are. We have a flare button with the crushed curry plain and the Bermuda Bay around the outside. For this one here, I'm going to show you how to fill it with a photo. Now, one of the albums I'm working on at the moment is a trip to New York that I was recently lucky enough to have. So I wanted to fill it with some New York memorabilia, and one of the adventures we had was the subway, learning to use that and going the wrong way lots of times. So I'm going to fill it with a photo of one of the subway signs. Now, I just searched in Google Images for a subway sign, and so it's just a matter of clicking Photo Fill. Now, I've already saved the subway sign in my New York Project Life folder here, so we can go down the bottom and select that. Here we go, Times Square subway station, that's where we were staying. Well, not actually in the subway station, we actually were lucky enough to be in a hotel. So as you can see, it doesn't quite, it's got that line across the top which I don't quite like. So what you can do to resize is just double click on that, and you can actually increase the size of the photo. And the thing I like about flare buttons is you just get little bits and pieces in. You don't have to get the whole thing, just to give you a bit of an essence of what you're talking about. So we've done that there. Click OK, and you can see we've made a nice base for our button, which is all about the subway. Now for this final one here, I think I might do, we might look at a banner. So we'll start off with Pear Pizzazz as our base, which is this one here, and OK, and then I think I'd like to have basic grey over the top. Now, even though that's not one of the colours that coordinates with that kit, because it's a neutral, it'll actually look really good anyway. So we'll go here to Browse. One of the stamp sets which has got some great banners in that I use a lot, it's called Banner Blast. And in the Stampin' Up! Catalogue, we'll actually be having the Banner Punch, which will coordinate with this perfectly. So I really like this chevron flag here, so I'm going to drag that over the top. Now, it doesn't matter if it's hanging out the top, you actually want that to be so that it covers the top of the button. You might make that a little bit bigger. Make sure that that's centered. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I want to make that basic grey. And what I might do is I might actually put a little pink heart over the top of that as well. So for that I'm going to choose Punch and Hearts. Okay, so we've got a variety here. We'll go for the small heart punch. This one here. So I'll just drag this across. Happy with the size of that. But what I want to do is make that strawberry slush. There we go. So I'm really happy with that. I might actually move that down a little bit. So it's just a little bit further down. Yeah, pretty happy with the placement of that. For some reason it's got a little bit squashed up. So when you're moving finely in MDS, you can use the arrow keys. That gives a much better effect. So there you are. You can see that I've laid the banner over the top of the circle base and then a little strawberry slush heart on top. So I'm really happy with how that's looked. So what I would like to do now, I want to save that and export it as a PDF. So it's coming up here, File, Save. Excuse me. Then come up here to the project, share, and you export your page. And you'd actually export it as the large image size so that you've got the best resolution, and then finish, and it'll tell me at the end that that's been exported and where it is. So then it would just be a matter of printing that out. I print onto Whisper White cardstock, and that gives a really great finish on my printer with really bright colours which are true to the Stampin' Up! Colours. So I'll just close this actually, and I will excuse me, getting a cough in the middle of making my video. So we'll open this project and I'll show you some of the other buttons. I did a whole page of them just to give you an idea of the different things that you can do. So I've made my own words. One of the things when we visited Jamaica was that everybody was saying Yaman. So I made that, which was a real hit with the boys. So I made that to put into our album. Lots of artwork which was already in MDS, Trust Your Crazy Ideas, Love This Moment, and even the Inspire, Create, Share, the Stampin' Up! Tagline was in there. So as you can see, the choices are endless for the sorts of things you can make for your buttons. So have a play in MDS, make your own button bases, and then close that one, and we will open up the one that I just had a minute ago. When you are finished doing that and you've printed out your project, head over to my blog at Claire Daily, so that's Claire with an A-I-R-E, daily.typepad.com, and then in the search bar on the right hand side just put Project Life Flair Buttons, and that's Flair, F-L-A-I-R, and it'll bring you to the rest of the tutorial and you can see how I actually turn them into buttons. Thank you.